black people. It's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like Dr. King, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple. Reality's simple. My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like Dr. King, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple.
My fellow Americans, for nearly 7 decades, the United States has been the anchor of global security. This has meant doing more than forging international agreements. It has meant enforcing them. The burdens of leadership are often heavy, but the world's a better place because we have borne them. And so, to my friends on the right, I ask you to reconcile your commitment to America's military might with a failure to act when a cause is so plainly just. To my friends on the left, I ask you to reconcile your belief in freedom and dignity for all people with those images of children writhing in pain and going still on a cold hospital floor. For sometimes resolutions and statements of condemnation are simply not enough. Indeed, I'd ask every member of Congress and those of you watching at home tonight to view those videos of the attack. And then ask, what kind of world will we live in if the United States of America sees a dictator brazenly violate international law with poison gas, and we choose to look the other way? Franklin Roosevelt once said, "Our national determination to keep free of foreign wars and foreign entanglements cannot prevent us from feeling deep concern when ideals and principles that we have cherished are challenged." Our ideals and principles, as well as our national security, are at stake in Syria, along with our leadership of a world where we seek to ensure that the worst weapons will never be used. America's not the world's policeman. Terrible things happen across the globe, and it is beyond our means to right every wrong. But when, with modest effort and risk, we can stop children from being gassed to death and thereby make our own children safer over the long run, I believe we should act. That's what makes America different. That's what makes us exceptional. With humility, but with resolve, let us never lose sight of that essential truth. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Hello, this is T. West. Welcome to AfroSynergy, news and information on Africa and the African diaspora. Example of liars deflecting to hide a lie. Syria, chemical attack.
Describing this video as disturbing doesn't do it justice. But some attach a different word, proof.
I have absolutely no doubt this was a chemical weapons attack.
Now pay close attention. He's going to ask her a very important question.
Amy Smithson has been studying the use and effects of chemical weapons for 20 years and says it was the child in this video that erased all doubt.
This woman is an agent and she's on the program to lie.
Maybe 5 years old, and the twitching of the eyes and the mouth and the arms were all going in different directions at different times. That simply cannot be coached in a child of that age.
And here's another with white foam pouring out of his nose. What is that and what does it mean?
Well, it's one of the hallmark symptoms of exposure to a nerve agent. It could have been a cocktail of chemicals, not just classic warfare agents like sarin or VX or Soman or Tabin.
Victims can die within 10 minutes of breathing sarin gas. In liquid form, a fraction of an ounce can be fatal. Even contaminated clothes can hurt you. Iraq used sarin against the Kurdish people in the 1980s, killing thousands. The Japanese cult Shinrikyo used sarin in terrorist attacks in the mid-90s. The people treating these victims don't have any sort of respirators or protection on. Why aren't they getting infected as well?
Well, there's been an attempt to wet these people down to decontaminate it.
Clearly not an answer. She's avoiding the question.
That's what decontamination in a rush is all about.
What you have just witnessed is deflection away from the question. She totally ignored the question because those persons helping these people who are supposedly affected by a chemical weapons attack, they are not protected. Why aren't they affected by the chemicals? Again, here's the question. The people treating these victims don't have any sort of respirators or protection on. Why aren't they getting infected as well? Let's see what else this propagandist, this liar, has to say.
Just making sure that they're at least doused with water, if not soapy water.
As you can see, she continues to ignore answering the question. She knows what the question is. Why aren't those guys protected from the chemicals themselves? They have nothing on, no respirators to protect themselves. This is fake.
And the clothes are taken off.
Nerve agents like sarin blind victims, causing them to choke and spasm.
Like this. See the twitching in the body?
So right here, you see her trying to, let me take your eyes over here. I don't want to answer that question, but let me take your eyes over here. There, look at this. See the twitching of the body?
And these images of the dead show no signs of a conventional bomb blast.
No signs of a bomb blast means that Assad did not fire any rockets into that area. As one reporter indicated, there was an accidental explosion that caused the gas to escape. These terrorists were using chemicals and preparing to use these chemicals to attack the Syrian military.
There you see bloody bodies, broken bones, gaping wounds.
She's lying again. There are no broken bones and broken bodies.
Chris Lawrence, CNN, Washington.
Zionist liars.
And some of them are sorry they are free now. Some of them know they'd rather be slaves.
Which would you rather be, Uncle Sam?
Me? Which I'd rather be? You know what I'd rather do? If I thought that I'd ever be a slave again, I'd take a gun and just end it all right away.
I do want to say something right now. There is a YouTuber who has really got in my heart, and that is Angel Snub Nub 7. He reminds me a lot of my father.
In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Of course, I am the gatekeeper or the host of this particular program, known here on the internet as the mighty. Say it with me now. The mighty, mighty, Angel Snub 7. I am your brother, and hopefully your friend, Talik Ibn Ra. I am bringing forth to us a response to the President of the United Snakes of America. Okay, States of America. I would like to respond to just a few of his words from his message that he gave the American people. I believe this was Tuesday, in regard to what is going on in Syria. Well, actually, yes, in relation to Syria, the alleged chemical attack of a government they claim upon their own people. I would like to begin, and I hope that you would be patient with me, because this might take a little time, but if you are watching this on video, you already realize that this particular conversation will be at least an hour. And I do not want to bore us in that hour, but sometimes speaking on serious matters, for many of us, it is boring. We would rather spend our time drinking, acting silly, getting high, watching foolish programming on TV, girls fighting, lesbians kissing, all kinds of violent movies, entertainment, somebody singing and throwing a thong in your face, all kinds of foolishness that I am amazed that so-called adult people participate in. As an adult person, you would think that you would want to know at all times what those who are in leadership of your nation is doing or planning on doing. We should want to begin to try to understand what is going on, not only in this country, but around this planet, because eventually, whatever happens around the earth in human affairs will affect us. The United Snakes of America. I'm sorry, I said it again. The United States of America. Some of you do not realize that you have a high standard of living, not simply due to your alleged hard work, but you have a high standard of living because of this government's exploitation of other people around this planet to steal their oil, to exploit their cheap labor. So others suffer, others they survive very expensively because their resources are being stolen and pillaged by this nation, and it has done so for years. In fact, black people should not want to or wish to defend this nation, and you should believe everything that I say on this particular issue, because the black man and woman, the descendants of slaves in America, we are a victim of pillage, as the labor of our ancestors was taken for free for over 300 years, and then for over 100 years underpaid labor. And according to those who are protesting against fast food, underpaid labor continues as a means to exploit and get rich of those who are impoverished. So clearly, nothing has changed except the way we play the game. Now, let us talk to one another in a civil manner. Let us talk to one another in a cordial manner. Because this issue, whether we like it or not, affects us all. It will affect your children. It will affect your father, your mother, your brothers and sisters. It will affect this whole nation. So we should have, as adults, we should have concern in whatever these misfits, these criminals, these crooked people do in Washington, D.C., whose hand and minds are bought and paid for by forces that we are not even aware of. Those who have a lot of money, a lot of influence, and have been doing that for years. Did you know that your nation is not even really a nation? It is a corporation founded by England, by the British. As nations, as tribes have kings and chieftains, while corporations have presidents and CEOs. This nation that you call a nation is in fact a corporation. And that's a different subject matter, but we need to think about that. Your social security number, your birth certificate, in reality is our employer's ID number. You and I are on the factory floor. You are given the illusion of freedom, but you're not free. You're given the illusion of justice, but nothing here is just. Not even for the Caucasian people, it is not just. And if you study the court records, you will see many Caucasian or pink people, you will see how they have also been unjustly treated. But that is not my concern. Overall, I do care about those who are mistreated. But at this time, my number one priority is the descendants of slaves born in America. Because nobody is making no attempt to do anything for these who are downtrodden, these who are forgotten, these who are exploited and have been used for the last 400 years. Now it is time for these to use themselves, to exploit themselves for your and my own benefit and for the benefit and the best future for our babies and children. For they should not be made to be slaves like we have become and born into a different, manufactured, more complex system of slavery. And many of us are satisfied because we are millionaires. Some of us are satisfied because we have a pretty car outside, because we have a certain position in the Congress, or we are a mayor. But we are a mayor who is a slave. We are a billionaire slave, a talk show host slave. America was founded on black slavery, and it continues to enslave the mind and the bodies of these who falsely, in a delusional manner, truly believe they have finally, or at some point in a future time, going to become equal citizens. The only laws of discrimination in this nation has always targeted black people. We were targeted from the very beginning, and we are still targeted. So when these idiots always talk about, look at the Asians, look at these people, look at those people, that people, where are the laws? Where is the policy designed to hinder their progress? These things do not exist. In fact, the reason why they can progress is because they are riding off the back of many of the civil rights accomplishments that black people had to fight for themselves. And how dare you come in our face like you got it so going on. You have not suffered. You have not been bit by dogs, sprayed with fire hoses, made to go to the back of the bus. You have not suffered anything, but you enjoy the benefits along with the Caucasian pink woman. And then you turn around and have the nerve to try to make mockery of your benefactors, because your benefactors don't know that you have exploited them. They don't know. But I will tell our people, and I will let them know. And you, when you bring your foolishness, you will be, as they said, put in check. In history, we have a man called Adolf Hitler. Many of you would agree. And history says, or makes the claim, that Adolf Hitler was one of the greatest, most wicked people that have ever walked the face of this planet. Not everybody agrees that Adolf Hitler was an evil person. In fact, I truly doubt if Adolf Hitler himself believed he was doing anything wrong. Adolf Hitler, in sincerity, believed he was doing something that was good and beneficial for the German people. Many, or a great majority, would disagree with that. And as the result of Adolf Hitler's belief, many people suffered. Many people were killed. Many people were targeted for destruction, like black people were targeted in this nation. We don't like that comparison. And black people in this nation was targeted for destruction and genocide long before there was an Adolf Hitler. Again, another subject for another time. I want to respond to the President of the United I was going to say snakes again. States of America. There is a church on every block, in every little town in this nation. Many of you are happy to call yourselves Christians. But if you study Christianity, or many of these religious belief systems, you will find that in your history, it was taken upon the leadership of the church, the leadership of these religious belief systems, that you began to go out into the countryside, in the towns and the cities, and you force your religion on people. If they did not accept your religion, then you would outright kill them. Force them to believe in God. So we have many people today who believe in some kind of God, believe in some kind of spirituality because it was forced upon us, because that's not natural for you, for your brain to accept that which must be believed in. Your brain only responds to reality, or it makes come into a reality that which is imagined inside your brain. It can make it a reality. At once it was something to believe in as part of an imagination, but the brain can cause the hands to bring into existence what was once believed in and imagined, bring it into a reality. And if this cannot be done, then we are considered insane. That's why you don't see people running around with pink elephants and other things of the imagination. It's a figment of the imagination. It's not real. And that which is not real cannot be brought into reality. It can only be believed in. These same religious believers, they took people and called them a witch, and they placed them on wood and burned them alive right here in this country. There are those who believe in gods in these religions. They, at one time, they saw twin people, identical twins. They were cursed because surely there should be no people that look alike. So they considered that a curse. So you have Adolf Hitler, for an example. You have religious people as an example. Do you believe that they, in their heart, believed they was doing something wrong? They did not believe they were doing anything wrong, but their action was causing harm to other people. Their belief was causing harm to other people. When your belief causes harm to other people and they have done nothing to you, when your belief caused the destruction of animal life and the poisoning of the air, the water, and the land, the destruction of this very planet, then there is a great problem. There is a great problem. The greatest problem is Adolf Hitler, the Christian, the religious, the Muslim, all of you believe you are right. That's why we sit where we sit right now, because everybody in their heart believes they are right. When I was incarcerated in a mental facility, they never proved I had any type of mental illness. They never proved that I committed any crime. But they held on to their lie. They did not want to admit to being wrong. So in their arrogance, they took it out on me and tried to force me to believe their lie. Not with kindness, but by threats. We will hold you the rest of your life unless you believe what we say. And what is sad is that they believe in their evil, and in their heart they are actually doing something that's right. They really believe this, and you are wrong. Mind you, they cannot prove a crime has been committed. They cannot prove a mental illness exists, but we're going to do what we're going to do to you anyway. And although the evidence is overwhelming, they will hold on to the lie. So Adolf Hitler very sure somebody showed him the error in his ways, but he held on to what was wrong. The religious community, Muslims and Christians and Jews and all these people, they know that they are wrong in some of the things they do and how they think, but they don't care. They would rather hold on to their wrong, and there is no apology. They will not admit error. So you live in a country I call the United Snakes of America because it has this type of mentality, knowing they are wrong. But it is better to hold on to that wrong, because I want to be viewed as right. And if you don't believe me, I will kill you. If you don't believe me, I'll lock you away the rest of your life. Oh, you will believe me, I will burn you at the stake. Now, President Obama says that this nation, for the past 70 years, has been the anchor of global security. Who asked you to be the anchor of global security? And within that 70 years, what makes you qualified to be the anchor of global security? What were you doing to your own people within that 70 years? Within the last 70 years, were you not spraying black people with water, with fire hoses? Within the last 70 years, have not you lynched black people wholesale, raped us, placed us in jail, discriminated against us, all kinds of evil, but you qualify to be the global security of the world? Who asked you to lead? I don't remember no country saying, I think that the United Snakes should lead the world. You lead the world because of your arms. When you look at the budget of the United Snakes of America, you will see that the majority of the budget is allocated to weapons of mass destruction, the military. We're going to force our will on you. We are going to anchor global security, secure the world whether you like it or not. And we're doing it by force, because nobody asked us to lead. So you have a corrupt country, a nation that has become insane and has been insane since its inception. President Obama tries to, and he does not even show emotion. He does not even, you can tell he does not even believe what he's saying. There's no compassion. There's no real feeling coming out of this man. It's all political. Has nothing to do with Democratic or Republican. It's something that you cannot see. The puppets, their strings are being pulled, and many of you already know this. How do we know, President Obama, that this chemical attack was not staged? It was not manufactured. We don't know this. Where is your proof? Show us that you, this government, did not stage that. It's possible, because we know that the United States government has a track record of staging things, making things look like something they were not. We know this. There is an old saying that you can't trust a lawyer. Many of your lawmakers are actual lawyers. And it is sad when you cannot trust the people that control and are behind the law, behind your government, they cannot be trusted. I was watching one of the interviews on CNN with this doctor called Sanjay Gupta, something like that. I think that's his name. And he was trying to interview the doctors that were treating these victims of this gas. They would not, none of the doctors that were treating these victims, they would not say how they were being treated or anything in relation. They were scared. Why would a doctor be afraid to speak before the world and tell the world what this person is suffering from and how they were being treated? They are silent. Why is this? Could it be because the doctors know that this so-called gas was probably not a gas manufactured by government? That it's some kind of gas that was put together maybe by some people who really weren't that experienced? Maybe they know that the gas came from a people that was given a gas by the United States of America. Is that possible? And they are scared to talk? There is no proof that this gas came from the Syrian government. There is no proof that the gas came from the so-called rebels. Both sides. We don't know. They don't know where the gas came from. How we know the gas did not come from somebody that has nothing to do with the so-called rebels or the Syrian government? There's a lot of mercenaries that have entered the country. But if you want to start some crap with somebody, let us blame the Syrian government, because we have another agenda, because we really don't care about the Syrian people. If the Syrian government launched this gas with rockets, where are the imprints where the rockets fell? Because if you shoot off a rocket and it falls, it's going to leave a crater. Where are the craters? And the people that's treating the victims of this gas, why is nothing happening to them? Because once this gas gets on a person and you don't immediately wash it off, then you become a victim yourself by messing with people who have been contaminated by the gas. There's too many questions. And I'm very happy to see that the American people are asking some questions. In the least, they are sick and tired of every time they turn around, their government is wanting to cause some kind of war somewhere. The United States of America wants to police the world. We are the anchor of global security. So what happens when you do wrong? You have not paid for what you've done to black people for the last 400 years. You have not apologized for slavery. You have not rehabilitated the people. You've done nothing except sit around and make excuses and try to pretend nothing happened. Then you get angry at people like me when we bring it up. Well, it's going to continue to be brought up because you run around here trying to police the world, but yet you are a criminal your dang self. Talk black to me. Yeah. You goody two-shoes. Who keeps a check on the police? When a police officer becomes corrupt, who is the one to put that police officer in check? And since the United States of America you so grown, you so powerful, when you wrong, who is going to put you in check? That's why so many people, they hope that God intervenes in the affairs of men. I myself believe that it takes men to deal with men. Because you wait on God, you're going to be waiting a long time. But there must be a force, there must be a power that's strong enough to deal with this corrupt nation called the United States of America. Liars! And if you want to really know about the intent, and it's not compassion, it's not love for no Syrian children, it's not no concern for the security of the United States itself. It's about making yourself richer. All these conflicts, somebody said, if you really want to know about the United States of America, follow the money. And when you follow the money, and of course, it's another coincidence. Oil. People said in Afghanistan, there's no oil. But I heard that they want to put an oil pipeline, some kind of pipeline through Afghanistan. And when the Taliban was in power, that might not be possible. Also, there's a big heroin trade in Afghanistan. And if you believe that your government is not involved in drugs, you are very naive and foolish. We should no longer be fooled. And we should no longer allow this government to exploit us, our babies, using our children in the military, not fighting for freedom, not fighting for democracy, fighting for some corrupt corporations, because that's what this is. Individuals that have the ability to lobby, by your president, by your vice president. And if you don't play the game, then you might be a president going down the streets of Dallas, and suddenly you get a bullet in your brain if you don't play the game the way it should be played. Follow the money. President Obama said we can do this. Well, not we. Don't include me in your evil. But the American people, this American government, you are exceptional. The Russian president says that is an arrogant statement, and I will agree with the Russian president. How arrogant are you? You are exceptional. That we can run around and police the world, and we are not right ourselves. Arrogant. Arrogant nation. Violent nation. And you can do this not because of your compassion. You can do this not because of your love, because it is forced because of the fear of your arms. Because people fear what you can do to them. That's how you rule, by fear. So you had to use fear to get any kind of response from Syria. In fact, you really don't want a diplomatic solution. You want to use some of your $1 million rockets that's laying around doing nothing. And maybe you can get the oil. America has been in existence as a nation for 235 years. And out of that 235 years, 209 years has been at war, violence. Violence outside the country, violence in the country. The murder of black citizens, the lynching of black citizens. You are the anchor of global security, so you can't even police yourself. How many of these who have murdered, killed, discriminated, and did all these horrible things to black people, how many of them have you brought to justice? How many of your missiles are you aiming toward those who have caused great harm to black citizens in this nation? Talk black to me. You are exceptional. You are exceptional because you have the ability to wield death and destruction. You are an exceptional criminal because you've been a criminal for 400 years and you have not yet been brought to justice. That's what makes you exceptional. Not because of your fake humanitarianism, because you are not a humanitarian. You are a criminal. The United States is a criminal nation. What is the United States of America? You are a bunch of drunks, pedophiles, a bunch of dope fiends. Mexico is killing themselves trying to feed the lust for drugs in this country. Not in Europe, not in Africa, not in China. Mexicans are killing each other, fighting over territory to feed Americans. Let's go across the border. Not to get a job in the field. I want to sell these suckers some drugs. You are exceptional. And you are gender confused. You don't know whether you are male or female. Maybe you both. Your schools are failing. You are producing functional illiterates. Your mental institutions are packed. You have people taking tons and tons of these psycho drugs. As violent as you are outside of this country, you are violent in the country. You want to distract the nation by pointing to so-called black-on-black crime. But let us look at crime in America, period. All the citizens in this country is violent. When I walk down the street, not only do I keep my eye on somebody black, I keep my eye on everybody. Because Americans is insane and crazy. This we know. You don't know what nobody tripping off of. What kind of drugs they taking. What kind of liquor they've been drinking. You don't know what's going on in their religious mind. They might view me as an enemy to God and seek to kill me. The infrastructure of your nation is falling apart. Your roads are crumbling. Your bridges are falling down. You got gas lines and water lines busting. But you can afford to shoot $500,000 to $1 million rockets at another country trying to get their oil. And then when you get the oil, are you going to fix up your schools? Are you going to fix your bridges and your roads and your gas lines? No. So some suckers out there and their families can sit around and brag about, look what we control, and go on vacation. You know you rich, you powerful. How many vacations can you take? How many times can you go to Disneyland? Don't it get boring controlling people that's defenseless? We living in an insane world, people. I did not say black people. I did not say red people or yellow people. I said people. You have a certain group of persons that have elevated themselves as leaders and the controllers of the earth who are incompetent that need to be struck down. They are the ones giving us hell. Our lifespan on this planet is really not that long. And these devils make the little time that we are on this planet hell. Instead of going into the church praying to God, you should be gathering with so-called good people. And by any means necessary, you need to take these crazy demons out of power. They've been there for hundreds of years. It's time to take them out. These insane people, they've been here so long, doing their dirt for so long, they just like Adolf Hitler. They just like the Christian church. You've been doing it for so long, you really think that you are right. Although you have caused the death of many people, you've misplaced all kinds of animals in the earth. You poison the earth. You poison in the water. Nobody is happy. Nobody. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says in his teaching, when there is 100% dissatisfaction, there must come 100% change. And the reason why y'all are satisfied is because you are scared of the powers that be. But as soon as you get over your fear, as soon as you are able to express your real dissatisfaction, which will become 100%, then we'll be able to take these suckers out of power. And unfortunately, I know you don't want to hear it, but the powers that there are, these suckers, these wicked people who are in power, they just so happen they have Caucasian pink skin, and y'all know that already. But it's hard for you to fight against somebody that look like you Caucasian people, but these are the troublemakers. They've been doing it for a long time, and you know this. Have they ever apologized for not finding weapons of mass destruction? No. Have they apologized for slavery? Have they apologized for anything that they know they done wrong? No. They have no character. This is what makes you evil. You have no moral, what religion calls, no kind of morality. You got savages claiming to be civilized. This nation is $17 trillion in debt. 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 11, 12, $17 trillion in debt. You $17 trillion in debt, but you can afford to shoot $500,000 missiles, $1 million missiles at another country. Nobody gonna do that in their right mind unless they think they're gonna get something out of it. What are you going to get out of it? Oil. Control of the oil. That's what it's about. It's always about oil. It's always about cheap labor. It's always about some kind of resources. It is very rare that anybody wants to go to war because they have compassion for the suffering of somebody. Very rare. It's always about material things. Get mine. I'm great. I'm powerful. I'm powerful. I am exceptional over others. I'm better. I'm a Caucasian man. I'm better than a black man. And I'm Asian. I'm better than a black man too. I'm African. I'm better. Everybody is better than the descendants of slaves born in America. It's always about fighting whoever can get the most material things and be better than somebody else. Y'all are some sick puppies. I want to close by saying this. What kind of caregivers are these? These are some sick people. Very sick. Now, I have been accused of speaking about Caucasian people, pink people, sort of bad. In fact, they come together and they tore down 60 of my channels because they don't like the real truth that I say. That's your problem. If you can't handle the truth, I'm just the messenger. If you can't handle the truth, that's your problem. It's not my problem. So I went to court with Google. And you wanted to destroy the name Angel Snub Nub 7. And no matter where you find my videos, they may not be under Angel Snub Nub 7. But the name survived. Angel Snub Nub 7 is still here. But Angel Snub Nub 7 is not like you. I will admit my error. I will admit being wrong. And I do not advocate running around murdering people, causing people harm, the destruction of this planet and animal life. I will give people, all people, freedom, justice, and equality. I want to treat people the way I want to be treated. I do not care about big houses and fancy cars and all this material stuff. I want everybody to have happiness in this short life that we live. I want all your children to be literate. I believe in morality because you got to have some type of control over your life. Otherwise, we have the society and the civilization that we live in. One of the sins is greed. It makes no sense for people to accumulate so much wealth. What you gonna do with it? That's greed. And we see the results of greed. We see the results of fornication and adultery and theft and murder. I would hope that you would like to discontinue these things. I must speak the truth in behalf of black people. We must accept these truths. We must accept the reality. But instead of fighting these things, because we know they're true, you don't want to admit it, accept the truth and try to heal. Show concern for another citizen. But y'all have become sick. And the reason why you sick is because your leadership, those who control your educational system, those who control the music, the movies, the religions, they are sick. The government, y'all a bunch of sick puppies. So come here and stop listening to your crazy president. Let us get together and be sincere in the heart.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody move for me. Like the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple. Reality's simple. My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody move for me. Like the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple.
Of liars deflecting to hide a lie. Syria, chemical attack.
Describing this video as disturbing doesn't do it justice. But some attach a different word, proof.
I have absolutely no doubt this was a chemical weapons attack.
Now pay close attention. He's going to ask her a very important question.
Amy Smithson has been studying the use and effects of chemical weapons for 20 years. and says it was the child in this video that erased all doubt.
This woman is an agent, and she's on the program to lie.
Maybe 5 years old, and the twitching of the eyes and the mouth and the arms were all going in different directions at different times. That simply cannot be coached in a child of that age.
And here's another with white foam pouring out of his nose. What is that, and what does it mean?
Well, it's one of the hallmark symptoms of exposure to a nerve agent. It could have been a cocktail of chemicals, not just classic warfare agents like sarin or VX or Soman or Tabin.
Victims can die within 10 minutes of breathing sarin gas. In liquid form, a fraction of an ounce can be fatal. Even contaminated clothes can hurt you. Iraq used sarin against the Kurdish people in the 1980s, killing thousands. The Japanese cult Shinrikyo used sarin in terrorist attacks in the mid-90s. The people treating these victims don't have any sort of respirators or protection on. Why aren't they getting infected as well?
Into that area. As one reporter indicated, there was an accidental explosion that caused the gas to escape. These terrorists were using chemicals and preparing to use these chemicals to attack the Syrian military.
There you see bloody bodies, broken bones, gaping wounds.
She's lying again. There are no broken bones and broken bodies.
Chris Lawrence, CNN, Washington.
Zionist liars.
And some of them are sorry they are free now. Some of them know they'd rather be slaves.
Which would you rather be, Uncle Sam?
Me? Which I'd rather be? You know what I'd rather do?
Well, there's been an attempt to wet these people down to decontaminate it.
Clearly not an answer. She's avoiding the question.
That's what decontamination in a rush is all about.
What you have just witnessed is deflection away from the question. She totally ignored the question because those persons helping these people who are supposedly affected by a chemical weapons attack, they are not protected. Why aren't they affected by the chemicals? Again, here's the question.
The people treating these victims don't have any sort of respirators or protection on. Why aren't they getting infected as well?
Let's see what else this propagandist, this liar, has to say.
Just making sure that they're at least doused with water, if not soapy water.
As you can see, she continues to ignore answering the question. She knows what the question is. Why aren't those guys protected from the chemicals themselves? They have nothing on, no respirators to protect themselves. This is fake.
And the clothes are taken off.
Nerve agents like sarin blind victims, causing them to choke and spasm.
Like this. See the twitching in the body?
So right here, you see her trying to, let me take your eyes over here. I don't want to answer that question, but let me take your eyes over here. There, look at this. See the twitching of the body?
And these images of the dead show no signs of a conventional bomb blast.
No signs of a bomb blast means that Assad did not fire any rockets.
And those of you watching at home tonight, to view those videos of the attack. And then ask, what kind of world will we live in if the United States of America sees a dictator brazenly violate international law with poison gas, and we choose to look the other way? Franklin Roosevelt once said, our national determination to keep free of foreign wars and foreign entanglements cannot prevent us from feeling deep concern when ideals and principles that we have cherished are challenged. Our ideals and principles, as well as our national security, are at stake in Syria, along with our leadership of a world where we seek to ensure that the worst weapons will never be used. America's not the world's policeman. Terrible things happen across the globe, and it is beyond our means to right every wrong. But when, with modest effort and risk, we can stop children from being gassed to death and thereby make our own children safer over the long run, I believe we should act. That's what makes America different. That's what makes us exceptional. With humility, but with resolve, let us never lose sight of that essential truth. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Hello, this is T. West. Welcome to AfroSynergy, news and information on Africa and the African diaspora.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like Dr. King, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple. Reality's simple. My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like Dr. King, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple.
My fellow Americans, for nearly 7 decades, the United States has been the anchor of global security. This has meant doing more than forging international agreements. It has meant enforcing them. The burdens of leadership are often heavy, but the world's a better place because we have borne them. And so, to my friends on the right, I ask you to reconcile your commitment to America's military might with a failure to act when a cause is so plainly just. To my friends on the left, I ask you to reconcile your belief in freedom and dignity for all people with those images of children writhing in pain and going still on a cold hospital floor. For sometimes resolutions and statements of condemnation are simply not enough. Indeed, I'd ask every member of Congress